Although Joab responded to Abner's call to stop fighting in chapter 2, it was actually a rare example of restraint in his life. Now, though Joab was David's nephew, he was not a man who really shared David's interests. He was harsh and unsympathetic. He always seemed to have his own agenda because he was a self-centered man at heart. He harboured a grudge against Abner that led to Abner's murder in cold blood, completely against the wishes of King David. That's earlier in chapter 3. We're going to read about the reaction to that killing in 2 Samuel chapter 3 and verses 35 to 39. And when all the people came to cause David to eat meat while it was yet day, David swore, saying, So do God to me, and more also, if I taste bread or aught else till the sun be down. And all the people took notice of it, and it pleased them, as whatsoever the king did pleased all the people. For all the people and all Israel understood that day that it was not of the king to slay Abner the son of Ner. And the king said unto his servants, Know ye not that there is a prince and a great man fallen this day in Israel? And I am this day weak, though anointed king. And these men, the sons of Zeruiah, be too hard for me. The Lord shall reward the doer of evil according to his wickedness. For around 7 years there was long war between the house of Saul and the house of David. We read that in verse 1 of chapter 3. Over that period of time we also read that David waxed stronger and stronger, and the house of Saul waxed weaker and weaker. The final handover of power came about as a result of a disagreement between Saul's surviving son Ishbosheth, who was king of the northern part of the land, and his captain Abner, which came about because of Abner's misconduct. As a result, Abner sent messengers to David on his behalf, saying, Make thy league with me, and behold, my hand shall be with thee to bring about all Israel unto thee. That's in verse 12. When Abner came to David, Joab was furious. Seeing a threat to his own position, and with memories of the killing of his brother Asahel lingering in his mind, Joab took him, Abner, aside in the gate of Hebron to speak with him quietly, and smote him there under the 5th rib, that he died. Verse 27. It was both deceitful and self-serving. In our reading, David had to lament that these men, the sons of Zeruiah, that is Joab and his brother Abishai, be too hard for me. That's in verse 39. In the midst of this background of misconduct, we see David acting with restraint and feeling. His noble and sympathetic conduct sent a clear message. All Israel understood that day that it was not of the king to slay Abner, verse 37. All the people took notice of it, and it pleased them, verse 36. David's kingdom was not to be marked by double dealing and deceit, but with pleasing behaviour that was in keeping with the law of God. As David's son Solomon was later to write, his throne shall be established in righteousness, Proverbs chapter 25 verse 5. It is an important lesson for us too. We live in a world where we are surrounded by unrighteousness. How easy it is to slip into ways of thinking and acting which are just like the world. The Lord would have us to rise above that, to exhibit the conduct of Christ, and to be like Enoch, who lived in such a way that he had this testimony that he pleased God. Hebrews chapter 11 verse 5. We are in this world, but we ought not to be like this world. Let us please God in how we conduct ourselves.